Welcome to Storied Audio. It had been 97 days since Emma walked out the door. 97 mornings where Mark woke up reaching for a space that was no longer filled, his hand meeting only a cold stretch of bedsheet and the echo of a habit that hadn't learned how to die yet. Each time the realization settled on his chest like a stone, heavy, unmovable, familiar. She had left without a reason. There had been no shouting, no betrayal, no tearful confession to soften the blow. Just a quiet dinner on a rainy Thursday night, the sound of rain tapping against the windows while she made lasagna, his favorite. She kissed his cheek the way she always did, warm and familiar, and then said the words that split his life in two. "I'm sorry, Mark. I can't do this anymore." No explanation followed. Just a suitcase already packed. A cab waiting downstairs. The door closing with a sound so ordinary it felt cruel. At first Mark thought it had to be a dream. A warped, senseless one that would unravel if he waited long enough. He expected a call. A message. Anything that would explain this sudden absence. He told himself there must be something temporary wrong, something they could fix once she found the words. But there was only silence. Emma was gone, and in her absence she left nothing but questions. The days stretched and sagged like molasses. After a week of sick leave, Mark returned to his job at the architecture firm. His boss, Helen, gave him a look that held both sympathy and expectation. "Take your time, but not forever." She left a stack of blueprints on his desk and Mark buried himself in them. If he couldn't fix his own life, maybe he could at least correct the flaws in someone else's dream home. Nights were worse. He tried everything. Running until his lungs burned, cooking meals he barely tasted, reading the same page over and over without absorbing a word. But the apartment still smelled like her lavender candles. Her paintings still hung on the walls. Her handwriting stared at him from a sticky note on the fridge. "Don't forget milk, hugs and kisses." He once stood there and stared at it for 25 minutes straight, unable to peel it away. His best friend Caleb showed up one Saturday with a six-pack and far too much optimism. "You gotta let her go," Caleb said, opening a beer before Mark could object. Mark didn't answer. Caleb flopped onto the couch and turned on a basketball game. "She didn't even give you a reason. Who does that? Psychos. You dodged a bullet." Mark stiffened. "Don't talk about her like that." Caleb lifted his hands. "All right. Just saying, you need to get back out there. There's a world full of Emmas who won't disappear." Mark took a slow sip of beer. "What if I don't want another Emma?" Caleb sighed. "Then maybe you need to figure out who you are without her." That night, Mark sat alone in the dark and replayed their last day again and again. Emma had worn the necklace he'd given her for her birthday. She had smiled like everything was fine. There had been no fights. No cheating. No obvious unraveling. Had he missed something? He typed a message on his phone. "Please. Just tell me why." Then deleted it. Weeks passed. He tried dating once. A woman named Claire from HR. He was kind. She laughed easily. Over Thai food she talked about her dog, her trip to Spain, her book club. Mark listened, nodded, smiled when he was supposed to. But when she smiled, he searched for Emma's dimples. When Claire reached for his hand, his body flinched. It wasn't her fault. It just wasn't right. When he told her he wasn't ready, she squeezed his hand gently. "It still hurts, doesn't it?" He nodded. One sleepless night, fueled by wine and loneliness, Mark scrolled through Emma's old Instagram. She hadn't posted since she left. Her last photo was of the two of them on the Brooklyn Bridge, wind in their hair, joy unforced. "Can't wait to marry this man," the caption read. Something broke loose inside him. He messaged her before he could stop himself. "Hey, I know I shouldn't, but I need to understand. Please, just tell me what happened." He waited. The reply came the next morning. "Mark, I'm sorry. I really am. But I can't explain. I hope one day you'll forgive me." That was it. No call. No voice. Just words on a glowing screen that went dark in his hand. After that he stopped hoping. Instead he began rebuilding, not with anger but necessity. He took down the photos. Packed away her sweater. The chipped mug she loved. He stopped playing their songs. The memories didn't disappear, but they softened, shifting from open wounds into dull aches. In early spring, Mark joined a local hiking group. Not because he loved trails but because he needed motion. The group leader, a woman named Janice, welcomed him warmly. We all come here to let go of something, she told him on his first hike. He didn't answer. But he understood. With every step through the woods, the noise inside him quieted. The silence of trees replaced the silence of his apartment. At the summit of one long climb, the wind tore past him, cold and alive, and for the first time in months he felt something other than grief. He felt small. And somehow free. Months later, Mark saw Emma again. She was in a bookstore downtown, standing in the poetry section. For a moment his heart forgot how to beat. She looked the same auburn hair, same thoughtful stillness. She looked up and met his eyes. They stood frozen, the past crashing into the present. Then she walked over. "Hi," she said. "Hi." They stood there, surrounded by strangers who had no idea how much history lived between them. "You look well," she said. "So do you." He swallowed. "I got your message. Back then. I wanted to say more. I just couldn't. I stopped waiting for an explanation," he said softly. Her eyes filled. "I was scared. Of the future. Of everything. I thought leaving would fix it. It didn't. It just left me empty." Mark nodded, the words settling where the questions used to live. "It wasn't your fault," she added. "Thank you," he said. They stood close, separated by what could never be undone. "Goodbye, Mark." "Goodbye, Emma." She walked away, and this time he didn't follow. That night Mark sat on his balcony and looked up at the open sky. The city hummed below him, alive and moving forward. For the first time in a long while he didn't feel like something was missing. He wasn't waiting anymore. A few weeks later he ran into Claire at work. They chatted easily, no heaviness, no awkwardness. On impulse Mark asked if she'd like to get coffee. She studied him for a moment. "Are you sure?" He nodded. "I am." This time when they sat together Mark noticed things he'd missed before. The warmth in her smile, the way she listened, how being with her felt calm instead of painful. When she reached for his hand he didn't flinch. "I'm ready," he told her softly. "Not because I forgot the past, but because I finally made peace with it." Claire smiled, squeezing his hand. "That's all I'd ever want." Their relationship went slowly, honestly. No rushing. No comparisons. Just two people choosing each other, day after day. Laughter filled spaces that had once been silent. Love returned, not as a replacement but as something new. One evening as Mark walked home beside Claire, her fingers laced through his, he realized the ache was gone. Some stories don't get clean endings. But sometimes they make room for better beginnings. Subscribe to the channel for more audio stories.